Welcome back to the channel, guys. Going to give you guys an update of what is going on around here today. I had big plans today on some projects I was going to do around the old homestead, but we got 3 3/4 inch rain from midnight till about 7 this morning. So I was curious. I walked out here to the garden, see what was going on. I was a little concerned that I was going to have to start watering out here, which I've only had to do one other time. But check out the winter squash. It's all died back. Over here is our sweet potatoes. This is our second planting of sweet potatoes. If you can see there towards the back, that's where the deer have been eating a little bit, but honestly, I'm not complaining. Haven't done too bad on that. Over here's our popcorn, and this is our pumpkin that we're growing this year. Got these from Haas Tool. I think they're called Cherokee Tan, and they're an heirloom pumpkin. They're supposed to hold up really well, so they're going to do really well in the root cellar is the plan. And same with these winter squash. Let's see, we've got okra here, and then these are 2 variety of green bean that we're planting just for seed. This is an heirloom, and this one is a hybrid. We just had it left over, so we may just can those and keep the heirloom over here. Our squash and zucchini look like they're starting to die back. And this is the first planting here of sweet potato. So it's about, I don't know, 2 weeks ahead of the other. Then of course we've got okra and tomatoes. You see these baskets, this is how much we just are composting. I put these baskets out here that way we've got a place to put the stuff that's busted, spoiled, whatever. A lot of the squash and zucchini, if you guys have ever grown that, it just gets it's unbelievable how fast it grows. So a lot of these, they get so big. Look over there to those squash, how big they get in there. I mean, that's 2 or 3 days they'll get that big. So that is an overview of here. But so what do we do to help with all this rain? Well, I'll show you some of the things we've done and some of the issues that have arose from all the rain. Alright, so here you go. When we built this house, I had to have a bulldozer come in. You see the top of the hill here, cut 6 feet of soil out to flatten this out so we could put the house on level ground. And I knew the barn would be somewhat limited on size because I've got to have some area here for the water to run. So once the barn was built, I cut a little swell around, running all the way down there to get the water around. So, of course, it's the first year, so we're still struggling with vegetation on the soil here. Get some kind of grass or something to hold the soil. So, we're having some erosion issues, but I'm hoping to combat that. The root cellar is doing well, and I know most of that's Johnson grass, but right now I just don't care. I want some kind of root structure in there to hold that soil up. I'm hoping to be securing some large rocks, 300 to 500 pounders, to stack here at the root cellar so we can get that soil up more up that wall and do a more permanent solution to that. But it's holding well so far. So we've experienced so many heavy rainfall events on this property, and I mean, I'm sure it's everywhere else, but what do we do to try to mitigate that? And the main thing is getting a ground cover to hold the soil, because the soil kind of runs everything, right? And then 2, what we can't capture in the ground, we want to hold in ponds. So I've built 2 ponds here. My house, garden, barns and all that are up on top of this hill that all runs down and funnels down into this pond. So this last rain event we had, I did the math. We got 4.3 million gallons of water dropped in this watershed this last rain event. So from midnight last night till 7 o'clock this morning, 4.3 million gallons of water fell on this property. Most of that soaked into the ground because we haven't had rain in about 2 or 3 weeks. And what wasn't able to soak into the ground, the trees take up, everything ran down here. If you can look over there, we're not even to the overflow yet. So we've got about another foot to go before we hit that overflow. So instead of dumping that water running down here into this pond and creating erosion and washing our topsoil down, I'm holding it here. And not only am I solving a problem here, but it created a pond where I can stock fish, and I could potentially tap into this. So the other pond I use for watering my cattle. Another thing I do here, the water that does hit that overflow, it runs down here. I'm keeping this brush down here as a filter to try to slow that rainwater down before it heads down to the big ditch down here, which I'll take a picture of what that looks. I haven't walked down there yet. I am kind of curious how much water's running through there. So let's go see. Alright guys, so here's up in the front field, the first pond I had done. And you can see all this drains to here. And so what we did was we built a dam right here to keep it from going on down there. Now there's a overflow pipe here. We're not even to the overflow pipe yet. So what I've done, I put all of my paddocks, and this is not perfect. This is actually one of my top priorities to redo, because I'm going to get it to where the animals can't even get down into the water, because I really want to improve water quality. So anyway, I want to fence up out of here and then have watering stations. But anyway, you can see how I've got all my paddocks essentially meet here, so that no matter where my animals are, they've got something to drink. And this one's a bad boy, because he's supposed to be over here. So the way this works, you can see this here's been mowed. So there's the goats. The cattle are over here. They're in a cycle so that every so many days they get moved to new paddocks. So the cattle go first, then the goats come behind them, and then I mow behind that. I want to keep that grass in the young stage where it's putting roots out and growing. I don't really want it going to seed and sending all of its energy there. I want tall strands of grass. As you can see here, I've got clover and all this other stuff. We can go over that in another video, but trying to improve the soil. And so one thing we do is we're catching the water from eroding everything. So you can see here, the way this topography is of this land, to the right is a ditch and to the left is a hill that runs up there. So all that water runs down, and there was no ditch here. So I've been working on keeping these ditches cleaned out to give that water someplace to run so it keeps the road from washing out. Just 2 days ago, I cleaned that out some, and here's the soil from that. I'm going to use this soil to put on top of that root cellar when we get our boulders in there. Well guys, that's about all for today. I thank you for watching the videos, and as I mentioned in my last video, we're really changing the focus of this channel to be on this land, what we're doing, all the things that we're adding to build to be a real homestead, many different species, the big gardens, the ponds, stocking the ponds, all the stuff we've done for controlling the soil. So anyway, if you like that sort of thing, I hope you're going to like the videos we do. I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. I'm going to be making quite a bit more videos, so I really appreciate that. Anything you want to see or have questions about, put them in the comments below. Thumbs up, all that stuff. Really do appreciate it. See you soon.